Poor performance, misfires, and rough idle are a few signs that your spark plugs need maintenance. If neglected for an extended period of time, bad spark plugs can cause engine damage and make driving your car frustrating. Learn the most typical signs of malfunctioning or worn spark plugs by watching this video. To help you plan your budget, we'll also go over how long spark plugs usually last and how much it costs to replace them. And just before we start, please ensure you've subscribed to the channel. Misfires. Misfires happen when the air-fuel mixture inside a cylinder doesn't burn properly. The mixture may ignite early, late, or not at all, resulting in a misfire. Unburned fuel can result in higher exhaust emissions that are bad for the environment and give off a strong fuel odor from the tailpipe. If misfires are not fixed, engine damage is unavoidable. Rough or slow acceleration. When forceful acceleration is required, an abnormal reaction to the gas pedal is particularly apparent. Another problem brought on by misfires that produce a lean mixture of fuel and air is hesitancy when accelerating. You may need new spark plugs if you notice your car bog or stumble when you abruptly stab the gas. Difficulty starting vehicle. A car that has bad spark plugs may stall or have trouble starting. The car may struggle the most when it is sitting still because it requires a comparatively large energy input to overcome the inertia. Since spark plugs don't typically fail at the same time, the battery is more likely to be the problem if the car won't start all the way. Rough or loud idle. Automobiles with malfunctioning spark plugs may vibrate and have a rough or noisy idle. This occurs when the O2 sensors become confused by unburned fuel from misfires brought on by malfunctioning spark plugs. As a result, the cylinder's fuel is removed, creating a lean mixture. Lean running results in more misfires and a rough idle. You might notice that the RPM is bouncing when you're at a rough idle. This can be heard by listening to the engine or seen on a tachometer on the dashboard. Higher revs produce higher pitch sounds, whereas lower revs produce lower pitch sounds. The engine control units, or ECU's, attempt to make up for the issues is what causes the jumping. Poor fuel economy. It is wasteful and inefficient to have a misfiring cylinder or a rich air-to-fuel mixture. Due to some fuel going unburned or combusting in the wrong part of the system where it doesn't add any power, the vehicle needs to use more fuel to maintain the same level of performance that the driver is requesting. Monitoring your car's fuel consumption is always a smart idea. Poor fuel economy can have a variety of causes, but a sharp decline in fuel efficiency may be a sign of dirty or damaged spark plugs. Check engine light. The dashboard check engine light will illuminate due to a misfire caused by a failed spark plug. In cars manufactured after 1996, the ECU will produce a code that can be read with an OBD2 reader. Spark-related trouble codes can take many different forms, such as DTC P0351 and P0352. How long do spark plugs last? There is a recommended lifespan for new spark plugs. This is between 30,000 and 80,000 miles for the majority of cars. Spark plugs with advertised extended life still deteriorate. They might still function, but not very well, after 100,000 miles because they will have been heavily worn. The best defense is prevention. Checking the car's spark plugs every 30,000 miles is a good idea. If they are available in your car, just take them out using a spark plug socket and look them over. Good spark plugs should have a slightly dirtier appearance but still resemble new ones. Because of fuel additives in some gasoline varieties, they might have a red coating on the ceramic insulation. The plug's functionality won't be impacted by this. A too rich mixture, a plug heat range that is set too low for the engine, or ignition issues can all contribute to the sheen on the side and tip electrodes of fuel-fouled spark plugs. The side electrodes and tip of carbon-fouled plugs are blackened. The side electrode has been burned away, as evidenced by pre-ignition damage. Worn plugs exhibit general wear, or an excessively wide gap. When the plug protrudes too far into the cylinder, mechanical damage may occur, giving the plug a worn-out appearance. Replacement cost. It's crucial to use the same kind of spark plug that the car was previously using when changing its spark plugs. There are numerous varieties including silver, iridium, copper, single and double platinum, and platinum. Some are more costly than others, and each has unique qualities and strengths that work best for particular cars. To find out which type your car should use, consult the owner's manual or get in touch with an authorized dealer. While some choose to replace all of the spark plugs at once, others prefer to replace just the one that is malfunctioning, which can be determined by the code the ECU throws or by visual inspection. Since spark plugs are sold separately, determine how many you'll need before making a purchase. Spark plugs typically cost less than $10 a piece. You can install them yourself rather easily and for free, or you can hire a professional to do it for $50 to $200. The spark plugs in the majority of cars are very accessible. To find the correct torque specification for the spark plugs, you should refer to a repair manual if you plan to do this task yourself. Typically, spark plugs fit into an aluminum head. Cross-threading or over-tightening the spark plugs makes it simple to remove the head because aluminum is a relatively soft material. This implies that you will have to either purchase a new head or re-tap a larger hole, which will not be an inexpensive error. Hope the information was helpful and you will press the like button and subscribe to the channel.